pressure. She sacked him. A great bull rush by Chris Jones.
When it gets tough, you know, he's going to be there battling. The players appreciate it.
The Chiefs put the hammer down with a 34-yard touchdown pass. The 10, still knocked out. Oh, what a run out of this world. McMullen up to 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
On a historic night, the Chiefs advance, getting a Super Wild Card weekend victory, 26-7 over the Miami Dolphins. Mitch Holthus with you, voice of the Chiefs, on a victorious playoff Chiefs Rewind with senior team reporter Matt McMullen. Let's start with that. A historically cold night, the coldest game ever in this stadium's history, and the fourth coldest in NFL playoff history, and the Chiefs get the victory 26-7.
And despite all of that, the energy in this stadium and the resiliency of this team was better than it's ever been. It was incredible to see the desire of this team here tonight, despite some incredibly tough circumstances. We were out there for pregame, and it was like -3 degrees, -17 wind chill. It's hard just to function, like to have a conversation, and to go out there and play a football game, and not just play the game, but to play with the energy and the desire these guys played with was all-time special. So hats off to them.
Honestly, in my 30 seasons, this might be the best crowd ever because of what they had to endure and how they were into this game. But let's go back to Field Pass as we were down there with our face freezing. We said the Chiefs had to get off to a good start. Both games against Miami, they did that. The 69-yard touchdown drive to go up 7-0 was huge. And they did it, again, doing a variety of things, including a big run by Pacheco. And Rashee Rice is becoming a blitz beater. And that 11-yard touchdown was an example of it.
I saw a sign in the crowd saying it was Pacheco weather, and we saw that on that first drive. He had 4 carries for 39 yards on that opening drive, and that really set the tone from the get-go that it was going to be a long night for Miami. It was going to be a cold night for Miami, and Isaiah Pacheco was not cold throughout this game. But don't forget about the 3rd and 10 conversion to Travis Kelce on that opening drive. That was nearly a 3-and-out, and instead of a 3-and-out, that conversion happens, they go down and score a touchdown. Huge forgotten play.
And again, it could have been very different if Miami got the lead in this game because of their psyche. That's just the way they are. Now let's talk about this defense before we go to the podium. Amazing. Again, this year they were the best second-half defense in the NFL by far. They were in this game as well. Miami was 1 of 12 on 3rd down. And Matt, how many times have you seen a game? Miami had 9 possessions. The Chiefs held them on 4th down, 3 of those 9.
And let's take out Tyreek's 53-yard touchdown. He got us there, right? But take that play out of it. They had 59 plays for 211 yards and 0 points. This is the Miami Dolphins. It's the #2 scoring offense in the NFL. And consistently, this Chiefs defense was bringing it throughout this game. Again, it was the energy. That energy was persistent from this Chiefs defense, and Miami never got going outside of that one big play.
And bringing it from all 3 levels. Karlaftis a couple sacks. At front was great. Nick Bolton was all over the place. And the DBs played fast and physical.
And L'Jarius Sneed had another great night. It was a travesty he was not an All-Pro or a Pro Bowler this season, but I tracked it throughout the game. He allowed 3 catches the entire game for 17 yards, often covering Tyreek Hill. So L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, another outstanding game. These DBs are something special.
We'll give you some numbers of what this game means, but first let's go to the podium.
All right. Thank you to the fans and the great job that they did, along with the grounds crew of cleaning things up and making that field playable. And they did a great job. Has to go off to our team for the job that they did, and really for the Dolphins. I thought they came out and bared with all the weather. It's a little bit different than down in Miami, and I thought both teams handled that pretty well. But, and then there are a bunch of things, but our defense with the 3rd down ratio was incredible, and the job that they did. 1 for 12 on 3rd downs. That's quite a stat there. And then there are a bunch of individual efforts. Offensively, I'd start with the offensive line. Defensively, I'd start with the defensive line. And then there were good individual efforts in there, whether it was George with a couple sacks that he had, Chris Jones, and those guys brought all their they're mad money with him. And then Leo on special teams did a great job. I think he was getting used to it on the second return and was feeling himself a little bit, but he did a nice job there on the kickoff returns. Rice, for his day, I mean, it's hard to believe that he's a rookie, but 8 catches for 130 yards. That's tremendous. Pacheco, 23 carries for 82 yards. Bucker kicking a ball that was like a rock out there, and the great job that he did. Bolton, another one with all those tackles that he had. And the biggest part, he's doing this with one hand. I mean, he's got a cast on his other hand, and he was, at the same time, he's leading that defense and making sure everybody's going in the right directions. Pat had a nice day just right from the get-go. I mean, I don't think they were anticipating us throwing the ball quite as much as we did, but we were able to come out and sling it. A lot of quarterbacks can't do that, what he did in that kind of weather. So, anyways, Kelsey, I mean, the list goes on. So it was one of those good days, and my hat goes off again to the Dolphins. Their head coach, their coordinators, they've really done a nice job down there. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Andy, you mentioned a minute ago it's hard to believe that Rice is a rookie. Was there a point where you got to with him during the season where you said, okay, he's beyond what we thought maybe he was going to be as a rookie?
Well, we were hoping that he was as good as what we saw at SMU, and I'll tell you the best part about him is he just keeps working. I mean, he's relentless with that, and he's got a good relationship. He's got Pat's respect, and he wants to do it the right way. I know how many times I stood up in front of you and go, we're this close with him. He's getting better every week, and so I think we've seen that the last four games, 5 games.
Andy, with Patrick's run, the play we got hit and the chunk of the helmet came off, is that a bit of a rarity to see? And would you have rather seen him slide, or you're good with him trying to make?
Yeah, that was a tough one because he was going to get the first down, right? So, and then they missed a tackle. Then he got kind of caught in the washing machine, and once you go, now you're just survival right there. You got all those defensive guys, so he bared down on it and tried to score.
And is it a little bit sort of testament to his will to win that's how he's going to do it?
Yeah, I don't think any of us in here have any question about that. His will to win is ridiculous. So, I mean, he's a great competitor.
Coach, how impressed were you with Steve Spagnuolo's plan? It just seemed like Tua never could really find a rhythm. Yeah,
listen, I thought Steve had an unbelievable plan. I thought the guys executed it well. That's not an easy defense to learn, and that's why when I tell you about Bolton being able to get everybody lined up and ready to go, and in the front end and back end, he does great with that. But they've got a great connection between them. So Bolton's like a coach out there, and Drew was able to come in and pick that up too. And when Bolton's out, he jumps in and does the same thing. But Spags he's a great mind, does a heck of a job with his guys. I'll tell you the same thing on the offensive side. I thought Nags had a great plan. The guys executed it. I thought Andy Heck's group, that really did a good job, as did Joe's on the defensive line. And you get in the playoffs. I mean, it's kind of where it starts. So you got to make sure that you're sound there.
How about specifically the job the defense did on Tyreek?
Yeah, listen, Tyreek's a great player. I mean, a great player. And you saw the one catch he had. But you don't see Tyreek get knocked down very often, but Snead did that. And I have a hard time believing there's another corner as good as him in this league. He's really playing well and challenging. And you've got McDuffie on the other side who is doing the same thing. I mean, he's playing great football. So, as is the secondary. So, I mean, David's done a nice job with that group. Yeah.
You're kind of in an odd position of not knowing your opponent for 2 days.
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
Well, you look at a couple different teams. You know, we'll find a way to make it work. You know, but the rest is good for the guys.
Andy, I know you were able to make it mind over matter about the weather, but it looked like you had to deal with some icicles in the mustache. Did you just say, bring it?
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is it falls off, right? So.
Good?
All right, good. Thanks. Yep.
Again, incredibly cold temperatures, but colder for Miami. The Chiefs get a 26-7 wild card weekend victory. But let's talk special teams now, because we said, and Andy Reid told me this early in the week, he said when it's this cold, everybody who touches the ball, it can be magnified times 10. We have seen playoff games down through the years in this kind of weather where a snap, a hold, a missed kick, go back to 95 for the Chiefs, 3 missed kicks in a game similar to this. But the Chiefs special teams, we'll get to Butker in a second, but what about everybody that had to touch the ball tonight when it was -5 to -7 and -22 wind chill?
Just an awesome job. Think about fielding punts for Richie James, how difficult that is when the ball is like a rock. It's -7 degrees out there. The ball's coming your way. Even just getting hit in special teams coverage. Just awesome job all around from all of these guys, because in a game like this, when everything is going well for the Chiefs, it only takes 1 or 2 plays for Miami to all of a sudden turn things around, right? Those usually happen on special teams in these playoff games, and the Chiefs special teams were almost perfect here tonight.
Hey, Leo Chenal got 2 kickoff returns.
He wasn't cold at all.
No. But honestly, the way the winds were blowing, and we were down on the field before the game doing field pass, it was blowing in our face, but coming kind of the north-northeast, meaning whoever was going to the left or right, as we viewed it during the radio broadcast, was really going into tricky winds. All 4 field goals by Harrison Butker were to that side of the field. We saw it last year with his kick against Cincinnati. He has become into an outstanding bad weather kicker, but it was all to the tough side to kick in this game.
So difficult. It's one of those things where field goal range isn't really field goal range on a night like this, because nothing is given when the ball is like a rock and you have to get it through the uprights. Awesome job from Harrison Butker managing these elements. And of course, the Chiefs want to finish in the red zone, but getting those points is so important. Harrison Butker outscored the Dolphins by himself here tonight.
Again, the Chiefs magnificent on defense, really in all 3 phases, to beat the Dolphins by a score of 26-7. Let's get some more reaction.
Patrick, have you ever had a part of the helmet get cracked off like that before?
I have not. I'm sure it had to do with it being really cold. But yeah, I didn't know what happened in the moment, but I got in the huddle and everybody was telling me, and I was like, I got y'all, but I'm not coming out the game. So we could figure it out on the sideline. So I was hoping we scored. Obviously, we didn't end up getting in the end zone, but yeah, it was a first for me.
And whose helmet came in? It wasn't a backup that just happened to be out there.
They have a backup that's out there. We got to talk about where we store the backup, because it was like frozen. So like when I tried to put it on, it was completely frozen. I couldn't get it on. I don't know if anyone got a picture of it. It didn't look great. But we were able to adjust it on the sideline, get it kind of warmed up a little bit, and get rolling from there.
Other than that, you feel like you guys handled the conditions about as well as you reasonably could have?
Yeah, I mean, they did it. They brought a lot of pressure. I wish I would have been able to make some of those throws. We had some guys kind of running free downfield. I missed a couple of them. But other than that, I thought the guys accepted the challenge. We were able to throw the ball. We were able to run the ball against some of those pressures. I thought the O-line did a great job. I mean, we had that mentality all week, is we're going to go out there and play football. We know it's cold, but we're going to go out there and play football and see what happens.
Patrick, how important has Rasheed become as an outlet for you?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing great, man. He's getting better and better every single week. Some of those guys hit that rookie wall, and it seems like he just kind of pushed right through it, and he's just continued to get better and better. And he's a great player. He has that right mentality. He comes to work every single day, and he made a lot of great plays for us today that helped us win the football game.
Patrick, I know that you're on the sideline when the defense is out there, but it seemed like they just were really confusing to a lot. I wondered from your perspective, just the difficulty of what he might have been facing as a quarterback.
Yeah, no, I talked about it, I think, in training camp. I was like, I really would not want to play our defense because it's not just we have great players. We have great players all around, every single level. You have players, you have depth, guys rotate in, can do it all. And then you have Spags in this scheme, and all the guys are so well coached in the scheme that they use it to their advantage, and you don't never know where they're at. I mean, Sneak can play inside, outside. McDuffie can play inside, outside. All the linebackers can guard and can make tackles, and it's hard to get a beat on what they're doing. And so that's why I knew in training camp, I was like, man, I'm glad I don't have to play those guys because that would be tough.
Patrick, given your chance to sort of look back at what you wanted to sort of fix in that little 10-day window, you said one of them was pocket awareness, footwork, just because they're blitzing so much and the fact that you sort of found the right times when to go, just what worked for you, especially when you are surprised that maybe a team's blitzing that much?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that they might blitz a little bit. I mean, they did a little bit against Buffalo, against Josh a little bit. So I try to have answers for every single play. For the most part, I thought I did. Even though if I didn't hit it, I was going to the right spot and on time, trying to give our guys chances to make plays. I mean, obviously it was more than we expected. I think it had to do with our offensive line was blocking so well when they weren't blitzing, so they had to bring some pressure to kind of get some pressure on me and get the ball to my hand. I thought guys accepted the challenge well. Obviously, we gotta continue to get better in the red zone. We're getting down there, but we got to get in the end zone, if that's running, throwing, whatever that is. But other than that, I thought we played a pretty good game offensively, but we got to continue to get better and better as the playoffs go.
It's been a while you've had a game without being sacked. Just how good was the offensive line?
Yeah, they did a great job. They did a tremendous job. I mean, when you have those extra guys and they're able to kind of block one but get a hand on another guy to give me time to throw the ball down the field, that takes kind of that chemistry together. That takes guys just being accountable to one another. And then the running backs did a good stepping up, making their blocks and protection as well. And so whenever there was 4-man rushes, they did a really good job of protecting against Wilkins and 92 in there. And so and then whenever they did bring the pressures, they did a good job giving me enough time to throw the ball down the field, and we hit some. And obviously I want to hit more, but we were able to score some points.
Can you take us through that fourth down scramble play?
Yeah, they did a good job. We were expecting pressure. We were expecting some type of man coverage. They played zone. It covered it really well, but I mean, offensive line blocked for a long time, gave me that window. I was able to run. Obviously, was going for the first down, and then got down the sideline and got us into the red zone. So I was just happy. Coach Reed, he was confident in us to do that. After I kind of made not a great read on the play before, I could have handed it off. I was trying to be like Penix, but we stole that play from him, and it worked for them. And I pitched it, and the corner was out there. So he's better than me at that. So I got to make sure I ask him next time what the read is on that and how he's able to read that.
That was against the Washington State game.
Yeah, and we saw the play and thought it was sweet, but obviously the corner stayed a little bit further out against us, and I still pitched it, so it's not great. But we made it work on fourth down, and we were able to kind of continue to get the drive going.
Besides the cracked helmet, I'm just wondering how the conditions affected you today, affected the offense.
Yeah, I mean, it was windy. I think you saw some of the throws downfield. They kind of carried more or didn't carry enough, and I thought the guys did a great job of getting themselves open. I mean, it was cold. I'm not going to lie. It was cold, but I think at the end of the day, you got to just be mentally tough enough to just say that it's not going to affect how we play. That's not going to affect my effort. If something doesn't work, I'm going to come back the next time and keep firing. And it wasn't going to be like we were going to just run the football. We ran the football well, but at the same time, you got to throw the football in order to have success in this league. And I take that as a challenge to be able to go out there and throw whenever teams are playing that aggressive coverage.
A couple more.
What was the read potentially on the pitch?
I was supposed to hand it off. If you hand it off, I mean, they had guys in there, but there's a better chance than what we had. I'm kind of reading that corner / in man on the line, and I knew he was off, but I was hoping because they brought the cover zero type pressure that maybe he would kind of squeeze a little bit tighter, and he didn't. He made a great play, but we were able to get the first one next time, so it worked out. I was able to run and make up for my own mistake.
Patrick, you change your approach with the way that your defense is playing right now, particularly in the postseason?
I mean, you have to. I think I learned that this year because, when it's not there, you got to be able to throw it underneath and punt the ball, flip the field, and not be frustrated with it. I have that mentality of I want to score every single time. I played in the Big 12. I want to score every single time. But when your defense is playing like that, you have to find what's the best way to win the football game. And if that's punting the ball, flipping the field, letting them get a stop for us, and then scoring the next drive, that's what you got to do.
Last one, Bob. Patrick, on the cracked helmet run, you had the first, I think, already, and I guess could have slid it, but you didn't. Can you go through what you saw? And
yeah, I was trying to get in there. I was trying to get in that end zone. A young Pat would have got in. I'm getting a little old. If like Tennessee, I would have spun, got up in there, but I got squared up, got my helmet cracked. But I try not to do it too much, but it's playoff time. Sometimes you got to put it on the line and try to get in the end zone to win football games.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
And he is turning into a menace. He is a weapon, and now he's a playoff hero. Rashee Rice, congratulations on a heck of a win, man. 130 receiving yards. How good does this feel to get a postseason win?
Feels great. I mean, obviously we got a lot more games, to play right now towards the end of the season. But, I mean, just to be able to, get this one out the way and be able to advance is great for the team.
Believe me, I waited 21 years to get my first one. You get it in your rookie year. I want to ask you, though, because I call you a blitz beater now. Let's go to the 11-yard touchdown. What happened on that play?
We noticed they were in zero. I was running a shallow cross. Trav, being the guy he is on the field, he kind of understands the whole concept. So he just kind of made, in a way, just kind of got in the way of his defender and my defender, so I could just run under both of those guys. Noticed that he kind of fell off on Trav. I caught the ball. I mean, it was green grass from there, so I just went to go score that touchdown.
Rashee, were you surprised tonight? Because we were, the fact that the Dolphins blitz more than they normally do. Did that stun you guys a bit?
I mean, we expected, some zero, but I think tonight they did a lot more than, we would normally expect. And I think they probably had a plan, thinking that if they, brought some pressure that we wouldn't be able to get open as fast as, we did today. But, I mean, fell execution.
I said on the play-by-play, your understanding, though, of reading coverages, and if it's a zero blitz, man-to-man, how much have you advanced with Patrick in understanding that very thing because it showed up tonight?
I've taken that part of my game, so far, just because this whole offense, it goes off of man and zone defenses. As far as, even if it's a man or a zone defense to start at the beginning of the play, if something changes, you're able to convert your route. So I just had to learn that off, as fast as I could.
And the first down chain, man. You saw the sticks tonight on a couple times.
Yes, sir. I mean, when it comes to getting the first downs, all that gives is, more opportunities to go score touchdowns. So we got to get those.
You okay? What happened over on the Miami sideline?
The sideline full of dirt and ice. I just kind of tripped up a little bit. I was going to be good to, just walk off, but players were telling me just go down, just get off the field slowly.
Now, you have some Philly in your background, but you got a lot of Texas in your background. How cold was this game?
I've never been to the North Pole. I've never been to Alaska. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you look up the weather, right now, those places, it's not here. This is the coldest place on the map right now.
Thaw out, enjoy the win.
Yes,
and again, he's become a blitzbuster, baby. Rashee Rice, congrats,
yes,
bro.
Appreciate you.
Number 4.
Or just overall, how do you think the defense played today?
I think we played great. Our strength is kind of playing off of each other, our chemistry, guys being selfless and coming together, staying disciplined. So, great team win.
What's the big challenge for Tua and your passing offense?
Just like you said, I mean, they got guys everywhere. They got all those skills. It's like a track team out there, They got a bunch of fast guys. They got a great O-line, running backs. Tua's great, can make all the throws. I think they were the number 1 offense, by all the metrics and whatnot. So they're a challenge every time you play them. But, we had a good game plan going in. Spags was dialing up some stuff, so it was great.
You kind of alluded to this is the second highest scoring offense in the league, and in 2 games you held them to 21 points total.
Yeah.
What's it say about this defense and its ability to kind of rise up to the level of an opponent like that?
Yeah, we always talk about whenever you play a great offense or a team that has a great defense, matching and exceeding what they're going to do. But for us, it's the same game plan in terms of the basics every single time, and just staying disciplined and staying together.
What were the biggest challenges of the conditions tonight?
I mean, it was cold, but it's fine.
It was fine. The field and
it was like hard at some points, but it wasn't anything crazy.
Justin Reed mentioned, throughout the game, sometimes you're rushing 4, other times 3, sometimes even 2. Just what did you make of Joe Cullen and Spags' plan and when you guys in good positions?
Yeah, I mean, Spags is going to dial stuff up to let the guys eat. And, sometimes I was dropping. Sometimes we had Chris dropping, but play. It was great. Spags let us do what we're good at. And, Coach Cullen gets us prepared all week with the rush plan, getting guys in position, coaching guys up. And, it was great team win, just like as I said.
Anyone else? Thanks, George.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Chiefs get the victory 26-7 of the Miami Dolphins on Super Wildcard Weekend. But this was historic, not just for the crazy cold temperatures. It was historic from a franchise basis on several reasons.
For a lot of reasons. So think about this. The Chiefs have now advanced to the divisional round of the postseason for 6 straight seasons. It is a remarkable run of success for this franchise. We can never take these playoff wins for granted. And how about Patrick Mahomes, who just won his 12th playoff start? He just tied Tom Brady for the most playoff start wins through 7 seasons in NFL history. Tom Brady, of course, may be the greatest of all time. Well, Patrick Mahomes is right on his heels.
Let me give you some other numbers to chew on. The Chiefs get this victory, Matt. It's the 21st playoff victory in franchise history. They're now 21-21. But keep in mind, before Andy Reid rolled into town, the Chiefs had 8 playoff victories in 53 seasons. And of those 8, 5 came in the AFL days from 60 to 69. Only 3 playoff victories from 1970 to 2015. And now Andy Reid has his 13th playoff win, and Patrick Mahomes has his 12th playoff win. And I'll throw in something here personally. After starting 1-10 and 0-6, I'm 13-13 in the postseason. Thank you, Andy Reid. Thank you, Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, and the fans who are phenomenal.
We cannot take these times for granted. We say this like on every Chiefs Rewind and every podcast, but this is the golden era of Chiefs football. We are living in the good old days right now. Got to enjoy every single one of these.
Now, we don't have to be too speculative in thinking where the Chiefs will be next weekend for the divisional playoff round. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. So here we are with George Karlaftis. We'll just roll on right here.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, 2 sacks in this game. Walk us through your ability, because we talked about it early in the week, about trying to disrupt the timing of their offense.
Yeah, I mean, getting to the quarterback any single week, especially with the team that likes to throw the ball, getting home and affecting the quarterback, that's huge anytime you play really anyone in the league. So being able to get home, get pressure, and affect the quarterback, really, that's always huge.
We also talked about the run game. They're explosive in the run game. You guys held all that in check tonight. What was the key there?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of what we've done all year. Just staying together, staying disciplined, being selfless, and trusting our coach and what Spags, the game plan he puts together.
Did you talk any Purdue smack on Mostert, another Purdue brother?
No, I didn't get the chance to. No.
I mean, outside of 2 plays, this was dominant. You guys stopped them on 4th down, 3 out of 9 possessions, crazy, and just shut them down in the second half. You guys have been the best second half defense all year. As you look at it and analyze it, why is that?
We just finish out games. Whatever adjustments Spags has to do at halftime, we trust them. We trust in our coaches. I know as a D-line, we trust in Coach Joe Cullen, Coach Terry Braden, and everybody just has a lot of trust. And we have a rock-solid foundation amongst the defense, and it's always great playing with those guys, man. It's always great.
Okay, you grew up in Greece, a lot of it. Then you moved to West Lafayette, Indiana. How cold was this game?
This was pretty cold. I'm not gonna lie, this was pretty cold, but feels great now.
But what did you do? What did you do to get your mind off it? Did you have to do anything?
Everybody layers up. You stay near the heaters and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you don't really think about it when it's 3rd and 9 and you got to get after the quarterback.
And now where do you go? You guys had playoff experience. Your rookie class was awesome last year. What do you learn now about keeping this, celebrating tonight, and working on?
Just keep stacking. We got another opportunity this week. I don't know against who. Just got another opportunity. Just got to keep getting better as a defense, as a team, we're not where we want to be yet. So we're going to keep working until we get there.
He's thawing out with the rest of you, everybody. A heck of a game for George Karlaftis. And now we're going to bring Matt right back in here as we close this. We're good to go here, buddy, unless you want to close it out with us. Thanks, bro. How good is that, dude? But I think we can speculate now, because the Buffalo and Pittsburgh game, because of a big winter storm in western New York, got postponed to Monday afternoon. They're not going to make either one of those teams, or the winning team, I should say, out of that game, play on Saturday. So I think it's pretty clear here that if the Pittsburgh Steelers would win that game, that would mean Houston would come here on a Saturday next week for the divisional playoff round. If Buffalo wins, that means we'd probably go to Buffalo on Sunday.
Yeah, it's either Buffalo or Houston. Let's enjoy a few days of football here and figure out who we're going to play. But I'm going to enjoy this one tonight. And then for any team watching the Chiefs here this evening, nobody wants to play the Kansas City Chiefs, because when the defense is playing like this, the best defense in the NFL, and the offense is efficient, moving down the field. And think of it this way. If the Chiefs had just finished a couple times in the red zone from like the 8-yard line or the 10-yard line, we're talking about a blowout here tonight. And this offense can finish in the red zone. We know they can. So this Chiefs team is a scary sight for the rest of the NFL.
And I don't know if I said enough about Patrick Mahomes, but he was playoff Pat.
Oh, yeah. He was awesome here tonight. This is
Big
why
run.
he is the best player in the NFL, and he showed it here tonight.
Absolutely. He's Matt McMullen, senior team reporter. I'm Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs. And yeah, I'm 13-13, baby, in the NFL postseason after a 1-10 start. Get ready for the divisional playoffs.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by CommunityAmerica Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.